Hi! You may have guessed from my previous videos over the last couple of years that I'm a big fan of Clematis. They're probably my favorite climbing plant. I just enjoy the colors, the variety of colors that you have, the large blooms, and yeah, I generally enjoy climbing plants, and you can train them around shelves on your balcony or in your garden. You can train them into other existing plants. So fantastic plant to have. And yeah, not too difficult to take care of and even to grow in containers if you consider a few certain things that you have to follow. But before I get into that, let me talk about the 3 different varieties that I got from the garden center last week. 2 of them are entirely new for me. 1 of them I planted before and had great success with. The one that I grew before is this Clematis the President, with really sizable blooms, a really rich purple, bluish purple, and I think the blooms are this size are larger than the palm of my hand. So really beautiful blooms. Oh, and yeah, this Clematis the President reminds me a little bit of the Clematis on my shirt. I think, yeah, maybe that is a Clematis the President, actually. Anyway, let's go to the 2 varieties that I haven't grown so far. So this is a Clematis Piilu. This is a lighter purple, pinkish purple with a darker center on the petals and a lighter exterior, and overall a more fluffy exterior, a fluffy presence of the bloom. And then the 3rd and final is this Clematis Viva Polonia. Again, a very rich pink with a white center that slowly fades to the ends of the petal. So overall, my color palette of Clematis is very much purple, pinkish, bluish, this direction, and I think that's what I'm going to find on my balcony in the end generally. So I think it will fit in perfectly with the other plants on my balcony. There are a couple of things that you have to consider when planting Clematis in pots or in containers. Some of them hold true also when you plant them in your garden bed, but one thing that is especially important when you plant them in containers, you need relatively deep containers because Clematis are deep-rooted, so they need enough space to grow deep roots. The other thing that you have to consider is like the location, because they prefer rather shady feet and the head in the sun. So make sure that you plant them in a location where the feet of the Clematis, so to say, are in more shade, whereas the blooms and the leaves are exposed to sun. Apart from this, yeah, pretty easy to maintain. Once they bloomed, you can deadhead them and they will grow even more blooms. As I said, I had luck from May to September with my Clematis. And yeah, give them enough room to really grow. They can grow up to 2 meters tall, most varieties. So if you have some sort of structure where they can climb on, that's really good. But yeah, now let's plant them on my balcony. So I chose 3 pots for the Clematis. 2 of them are pretty deep pots, and this one as well. So the Clematis should be pretty happy in this because they have the possibility to grow their deep roots. Another pot, maybe I'm taking a little bit of a risk. It's not as deep, but I think it will be fine because it's still a pretty sizable pot. And yeah, I got some saucers as well for water retention, and otherwise, yeah, I will just plant the clematis now. And here they are. I placed the Clematis Viva Polonia on the left-hand side, and then opposite the Viva Polonia I have the Clematis Piilu, and I bought a shelving unit for this side from here up to the door, and my idea is to train the Piilu along the shelf up, and ideally it will meet the Clematis Viva Polonia over here, and I think then we'll have this dark pink of the Viva Polonia with the light purple, this fluffy bloom, and I think that's going to be a gorgeous combination. And if you take a look at the Viva Polonia here, this is kind of ideal, the ideal location for a Clematis, because there's quite a lot of sun, afternoon sun here, but it's protected, the bottom of the plant is protected, the roots and everything. It doesn't get too hot here, so that's great, whereas the sun will get the sun exposure that it needs. And on the other side, we have the Clematis, the President, with the intense purple, bluish purple blooms. And I want to train the Clematis along this railing. Maybe it will cover all of it and meet the lilac that I planted the other day. The only worry that I have is that, yeah, again, there is quite a lot of direct sunlight, pretty intense. It can get really warm, and maybe that's not the ideal location for the Clematis. I will maybe find a way to protect the Clematis a little bit by putting another plant in front of it, covering the Clematis a little bit and hiding it behind the other plant. I hope you enjoyed the video with my beloved Clematis, and maybe you'll plant a Clematis on your balcony or in your garden in the near future. I can definitely recommend it. Anyway, bye bye!